Welcome to the Waffle Press podcast.
Which was my camera?
We're using all the cameras, Nick.
Damn it.
We're free flowing now. We have 3 cameras. We can do whatever we want.
I'm scared.
You should be. Technology's scary. It's like Terminators. And Alexas.
I hate you so much.
We have an Alexa in this room. We're recording, not live, but on camera, because that's what we do here at the Waffle Press once a month now. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Your host, Diego Crespo. That is Alexa. Say hi, Alexa.
I hate you.
The machines have
she
turned on
She didn't
you.
do it. She didn't do it.
The machine turned on you. It was like, no, I don't. It's camera shy.
Oh, that's
She's
fair.
camera shy. So
Next to me, I'm just gonna introduce you guys. I got Kirk. Welcome back, Kirk.
Tron Legacy.
What?
It's a good movie that no one talks about as much as they should.
Why not? Okay.
All right. Nicholas Valero.
Hey.
G Aversa.
Hey,
How are you
how's it
guys?
going? Doing good.
Good.
Thank you for reminding me to go into the mic just in case.
Right.
I did it for emphasis.
I know, but it reminded me because I was like kind of far away. Okay. How are you guys doing? What's new? Movies, stuff. Kirk, you don't really watch movies.
The last movie I saw was Beauty and the Beast in March.
Stockholm Syndrome, the movie.
That's such a terrible complaint. That is clearly not what happens in that movie. But anyways,
But did you like it, Kirk?
I liked it, but Emma Watson was just Emma Watson.
Well,
She
yeah.
wasn't like
She was Hermione
Belle.
Ranger?
It was Hermione.
No,
She was
no,
Hermione.
It's just like plain. Like she wasn't Belle. Belle is.
That was a different sort of character.
I like how you're like, oh, she was just plain. She wasn't Belle. I don't know how. What is Belle?
Belle
What
is like.
what is a Belle?
She's more assertive. I
Is
think.
she?
Yeah, Belle.
no,
yeah.
Belle's assertive.
I haven't
No,
actually seen like
Belle
Beauty
doesn't.
and the Beast like in years.
She doesn't put up with Beast.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show, but I thought Beauty and the Beast was kind of whatever. Like, but I think that's actually emblematic of the movie, where it's like
It's fun to watch.
It's very passive. Like you watch it, but nothing really happens. Like you know what's gonna happen.
Are we giving up on that one, G?
No. Still going.
Almost broke the TV. That's okay. I'm worried for when Alexa is just gonna like start popping in.
If you
That's
keep
so
saying
cool.
her name, then yeah, she
No,
will.
it's such a weird. Like I don't think I know anyone named Alexa.
I really hate you.
Just
No,
the
no,
machine.
see, I know how to say it. I've got to Google.
How do you
so-
say it?
Like you gotta say it quietly so it doesn't hear.
Okay.
The robots are listening.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But if you say like Alexa, hello,
Glad to have you back, Kirk.
Okay. Well, that was our bullshit.
Awesome.
So loud.
Well, that was our bullshit introduction. Now let's go talk about some other things. It's the end of the summer, so we have to talk about summer movies, but we also want to talk about lower budget independent stuff because those movies are important too, and you should watch them when you get the chance. But first off, we got some movie news to talk about. Stuff that is exciting, stuff that is frustrating, stuff that's frustrating again, and then stuff that's exciting. So, first off, we got an Obi-Wan spinoff, pretty much all but confirmed by Lucasfilm at this point.
Yes.
It's like everyone else is reporting it to the point where it's like, okay, like now we know what's gonna happen. Just
I actually
do
didn't
something.
see. I always, as long as Ewan McGregor is like attached, I'm fine.
That's the thing. He's not. Yeah. And if Ewan McGregor's not Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't want this. Because this is the thing. Like I want an Obi-Wan movie, but I also want the universe to like expand. Like tell me stories of people I don't know. You know?
I think his trials in the because what I really want is I want on Tatooine Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, like a giant, like just like a retrospective of him, like him going against the Jedi, him kind of like really going like, what am I doing here? Like, am I making the right choice? I could be like him meditating and like him sensing Jedi being hunted down and killed, and stuff like that, like and kind of like really questioning his path.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really awesome movie.
Well, I think that would be interesting if you also like have it where it's like contrasting his duty is which he's supposed to be protecting Luke on Tatooine, like he's supposed to be watching him.
Yeah, and they even did that in the comic books recently.
But that's cool.
But they did that in the comic books which are very recently, where they were like, oh yeah, he has a journal and Luke's reading it, and it's all about like him saving Luke because Luke went out in the desert one day and he was picked up by a bunch of Jawas, and like he went and Obi-Wan Kenobi like was able to save him, and like Luke doesn't really remember it because he was a little kid and stuff like that, and like Luke kind of goes like, oh shit, like he was there for me.
Right.
So it's an interesting idea for a movie to have, especially if you're going to go down that road. And I think like it's really interesting too that you kind of have it where he can make that choice of going like, yes, he is the chosen one and everything like that. And especially if you connect it right to Rebels on that one episode where
That was a good.
That's
I
where
like that
that's where
episode.
I come in because I'm like, that's a really good episode of Rebels and a very
Yeah.
good conclusion to Obi-Wan and Darth Maul's like conflict.
yeah.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
And now I wish that they hadn't have done that because that is
they haven't done that episode.
yeah, because that is clearly like movie potential stuff.
I feel
Well, yeah, but they could have. I don't know. They
But
could expand on it.
Here's the one thing. Though. No, but,
we had
but
to get for like a minute,
no, but the,
which is worked for the show, but not for
no, but I think the main reason why that worked for the show and it wouldn't have worked for the movie is because the show has had not only Rebels to expand on what Darth Maul's character is, but also you have the Clone Wars series that he was in. You have all of Rebels. You have like after season 2, an entire season of Rebels where he's just the fucking big bad
Yeah.
for like an entire
But
season.
it doesn't
Exactly.
matter. You could still retell, or you don't have to retell anything. You could still tell new stories. You can mine more stuff from that. Because like, look at like Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, where they are in between episodes 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6. They've both been discarded from the same people, from the Jedi, from Obi-Wan, but because of the Emperor and Anakin, Darth Maul has been discarded from the Emperor long ago, who also killed his brother, and they both are like people without like
You
their
would-
own lives.
you
They're
would
doing
literally
things.
you would literally have to explain that.
No, you don't.
In the beginning. Yeah, in the movie, if you're going like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
like,
not
oh
as
yeah,
complicated as it
Savage.
seems.
No, but if you literally have that in the movie and you go like, oh yeah, Savage Press, and you have.
That's the thing. You don't even have
things
to
like
mention
that.
those people. You just have to mention that they've both been like fucking tossed aside to the outskirts of the galaxy, to the ass end of the galaxy, and they have
Yeah.
nothing else.
That
now,
sounds
you
like
know?
a Darth Maul
Would
movie.
you say
Yeah,
today?
that sounds much more like a Darth Maul movie because
You know that when you're saying
even
that,
Dave,
yeah.
even,
No, no, because now they're the only two people that actually understand each other, but
well,
they
'cause
hate each other.
Even
It sounds like a Darth Maul
Even
movie.
Dave Filoni was talking about it in that episode where he was like, we wanted to have a Savage Press like cameo where we wanted him to be like while Darth Maul is like going through the desert. We wanted him to like have like a vision of Savage,
But then,
a
no.
vision of the Emperor, a vision of like different characters, and then we also wanted like scenes where like Satine is there and different stuff like that. And like he even went, people who have never watched Clone Wars would be like, who the hell are these people? Like who are these people? And like
Right.
why do I care? And like what is going on? And
Well,
it
you
just
don't have to
way too
incorporate
much.
all that though. All
But
you
it-
have to incorporate is that Obi-Wan and Darth Maul do not like each other, but they're the only people that understand each other.
But that makes the story that much better. Is if you do know who those people are.
Okay,
And
sure,
if you
but then
don't-
then the people that do know that get that much more out of it, but you still able to tell that isolated story. That's what I think, anyways.
Okay.
yeah, I feel like if you can, I feel like you can end it. You can end that movie with just Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he makes his decision to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
You know, he makes that decision of yes, Luke is the chosen one. Yes, he is the one that Anakin was never the chosen one. Qui-Gon Jinn was wrong.
Oh no, that's the thing.
And it's
Anakin
him
was the
training.
chosen one. Remember,
Yeah.
he was the chosen one, and he got fucking
Well, I
destroyed.
think let's wait until the Last Jedi to see that. Who is the chosen one? Because that's going to come into play.
Well, there's whole theories on that.
Well,
We'll
they-
talk
they-
about that forever. But
they-
there's
but,
more to the story.
in that episode,
there is
they do
more to the
talk
story, though.
about
Let's move on. Let's move
Yeah.
on because there's more to the story.
but
Where
Yeah.
the potential director is the guy who did Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
but hey, I like the Reader.
Okay.
Did the Reader, which was good.
I haven't seen that.
So moving on,
I don't know.
But you don't like the director, yeah.
yeah, no, I don't. So why would I look forward to that? You know.
I don't know. I think one bad movie doesn't like define his whole career though.
I don't know, man. That's
But like, okay,
that might be
what-
the worst movie.
name off
like,
the other movies he did, dude.
That's the only one I've seen. So
The
maybe
Reader.
I'm not giving him a
Okay,
fair
the
Right.
shake.
Reader. He did the Reader.
But
he
apparently that book was trash. So
did. Right. Yeah, but that's the.
what's he gonna do?
But yeah, he's done other reasonably well movies. I don't know if like he doesn't really excite me as a director, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, this leads into the next story.
Yeah.
With the Han Solo movie because
Oh jeez.
that one's got a whole bunch of issues. And
Did you see the joke where it was someone was like, "Oh yeah, the director of the Obi-Wan movie is going to be this guy. I can't wait until they decide who the next director is going
Yeah,
to be."
that's the thing.
For
So
the
I'm like, you know
Obi-Wan.
what? Like they're just getting a guy who's gonna shoot like
Uh-huh.
frame this shot here,
Well,
shoot it, and then
could-
go on.
Honestly,
Right.
honestly, it could just be that because I highly doubt that for the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie that that the directors just went off script and they didn't tell
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Yeah, I mean for Han Solo.
Well, no.
they-
What happened with the Han
they
Solo
did
movie
go off
was
Okay.
that somewhere along the lines, doesn't matter who was wrong, someone monumentally fucked up, Because when you're 70% done with the movie and you realize, I don't want the movie these
I
guys
don't
are
want
making,
this movie. Yeah.
you're in the wrong, and the people who hired them are in the wrong.
Right.
More so than the people you hired.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's the thing, though, is that I highly doubt that when they were they were pitching what they were doing, and
Yeah.
everything like that they never mentioned, this is our idea.
Yeah.
And, like, as soon as they got on set, they were like,
We're gonna do something.
yeah,
else.
fuck that idea. We're going to do something totally different. Like, there's no way.
It doesn't
There's no
even
way they've
matter
done
because,
that.
like, I feel kind of gross about this whole thing now. It's like these people are clearly passionate filmmakers.
So Lord
Their
and Miller.
brand is pretty much
Lord
like
and Miller.
taking bad ideas and making something great out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with Han Solo. I don't want a Han Solo movie now.
Okay.
You know?
I was also gonna say, one thing I'm not liking is like all the behind the scenes stuff they keep doing, where it's like everything's fine. Like
It's-
Ron Howard keeps
Oh, yeah,
like
everything's fine.
they keep
We're all
posting
good
photos,
here. How
or
are
like-
you?
Well, they're
like-
doing this half right, where like people make movies that are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, did anyone at any point think like, you know what, this is not good.
Yeah.
We should fix it. So they did that step, but then they're like, but we're still releasing it in May.
yeah,
month-
so
So,
that's
yeah.
them out.
A month into production,
Yeah.
you know the kind of movie that
Well,
they're coming up with.
I
a
do-
month in after watching
Yeah.
the dailies, they should have been like,
Kennedy should have.
I don't like this.
Well,
Yeah,
also,
they
there's,
did,
there's
but
some
then
more.
they're
There's some more
like,
news coming out of
not
it.
fixing it. They're just
sorry, what was it?
There's some more news. Han Solo wrapped Donald Glover.
Yeah,
He's
who's a
Lando Calrissian. He's done,
Okay.
and they've lost Michael K. Williams in the reshoots.
Shit.
He's not dead. He's alive.
because he can't come back for the reshoot.
He can't come back for the reshoots, and what that tells me is that they're probably reworking this thing from the ground
Yeah.
up. I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
But I mean,
shit.
it could be a very like.
It could be a small
character.
part, but I mean,
But that really
it-
disappoints me because I like Michael K. Williams.
The main
Sorry.
thing I was really interested about is that were they reworking it because they thought it was the best thing for the actual movie, or were they reworking it so that way they didn't have to get Christian Lord and them credit?
I
because
feel
if
like
they-
I feel like they're not going to get credit anymore.
Because
well,
the thing is that
that's
even
a
if
big
they,
Directors Guild thing.
yeah, that's a huge
Yeah.
Directors Guild thing, and if they go into it and they go like, oh yeah, the what was it like 80% of it was done by them, and then Ron Howard came in, then they still have to get credit. It would be their movie plus Ron Howard's,
Right.
Yeah.
and they would all
And
have to
then,
get credit for it
yeah.
unless the movie was totally.
How does that work, Gene, for the Directors
So
Guild?
the
Do they
Directors
both get
Guild,
credit?
like if you throw off the director, if they film the majority of the movie, then they would still have to get credit. Is what I remember.
Oh, that's so
It's the same
sad.
thing. It's the same thing with what was it with?
Justice League.
Yeah, it's
I
the same
mean,
thing with.
Because that's-
because-
yeah.
better situation.
No, but I
more
mean-
tragic. There you go.
But the thing is that
But,
it would
yeah.
technically be a Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder movie. Technically, they would both get credited as direct because
if you shot like 50% of the movie.
well, because what I'm hearing, they're going they're reshooting a lot of shit, making a tone a lot fucking like a lot sunnier tone. So I'm imagining that he's working really fucking hard. They're calling people back for reshoots and different stuff like that for Joss Whedon. So I'm pretty sure he has to get fucking credited.
Zack Snyder.
I don't know if they're gonna want to give him credit,
Yeah, well, I
given
think-
recent stuff.
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder is probably going to get credit there because that's maybe it's less than half the movie they're refilming.
I thought they were refilming because they wanted to put more Wonder Woman in it.
No,
Because
it's-
Well, that's
she
one of the
got really
things.
big.
That's one of the things.
It's
And we're
one
gonna-
thing, but also from what I've heard, they're making the tone a lot less serious. Like
which
they're
is
changing.
good.
You can
Which
see
is
it
good.
in the last trailer.
Yeah, you can-
You can tell what shots were reshot by Whedon.
Yeah,
It has like
shots were-
Avengers style
Yeah.
lighting, and then the other stuff is like
Overly dark.
Well, no,
pretend Larry Fong
No, but
lighting.
the thing is that even if you put the two trailers together, and then
It's different.
and the same scenes that pop up, the same scenes are now brighter. Like
Yeah.
someone who got the filter and was like, "Let's make that bitch brighter, and we're good."
Right.
Or
Like,
shut
let's-
off the filter.
Yeah, or
The
turned off
Superman
the original filter.
I don't know if they're gonna want to give Joss Whedon credit. I didn't plan on talking about this, but let's just talk about it. Kirk, do you
Yeah.
know about the Joss Whedon situation?
Vaguely.
Okay, where
As always.
his wife wrote an editorial for the Wrap about her abusive relationship with Whedon, emotionally and like psychologically.
I have not heard this.
Yeah,
Okay.
where he would be having affairs and stuff, and this is a little heavier topic than we're used to talking about, but I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's always the discussion about like the art versus the artist. Can you separate them? And I think you
Right.
can, but no one in any universe is obligated to do so.
Sure.
And as a huge fan of Whedon's works, it does make me a little uncomfortable. And I'm gonna love what I still loved, but I obviously view the man very differently.
my thing is that
Yeah.
even if his personal side aside, That's his personal life.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yes, it does kind of. It does reflect his
bad to
business.
hear.
It's bad. It's bad to hear, and it also kind of does make for bad business. But the thing is that we've already hired this man. He's working on it. He's reworking the movie the way that we feel necessary in order for us to continue. Because I hear the original cut is not bad.
No, I've heard it's bad.
But
Yeah.
I do hear that a lot of the execs weren't happy. They're not very happy with it.
Okay.
And I think that they, at a certain point, no matter how much he does, I think even by the Directors Guild, he's going to have to get credit. I think it's going to be a Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder movie. It's where they're both going to get credit for it.
Right. We'll see.
On the point of DC making bad decisions, I'm sorry, but like that's kind of what's been the trend. For
Oh
that.
yeah, the next.
For Wonder Woman, they also thought like the early cuts were like, oh god, like head scratching, like oh no, and then obviously Wonder Woman turns out to be fucking great.
Yeah.
But another thing that they have going on is that there's 2 Joker movies.
Yep.
One's
Happening at the
directed-
same time.
Yeah,
I don't
one
know
is
why.
an Elseworld story directed by Todd Phillips that's going to be produced by Martin Scorsese.
Right.
So
So
that means like Christopher Nolan producing Man of Steel, though. It doesn't mean anything.
Right. I was gonna say. So explain what an Elseworld is, because not many.
Yeah, okay.
people
For
know.
fans, Elseworld stories are standalone comics, more often than not standalone, where you have the main line of comics, like let's say the Justice
the main
League.
continuity.
Yeah, main continuity, like so the Avengers, right? The Avengers and here you go. This is a good example. Marvel Cinematic Universe is the mainline continuity of Marvel movies for fans and general audiences. Elseworlds would be like if you had an Iron Man 4 right now that in no way impacts anything outside of that movie. Or you know what? Logan is an Elseworld story.
Right.
That would be
But
Logan's
they're
an
often
Elseworld
like very like crazy takes. So like, what if Batman existed in the 18?
18 I think it's like 1890s.
Yeah, like Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah, Gotham by Gaslight's a very good steampunk.
Or
Yeah.
Red Sun.
Or Superman
lands
was
in
born in
Moscow.
Russia. Stuff like that, where it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
And
I think I see. My thing is that I think you can do Elseworld stories and stuff like that. The only problem is that the average moviegoer will be confused.
yeah,
They're going to go in and go like, so did they fire the other actor?
I have more on that.
Is Jared
But,
Leto not going? Is he not going to do it anymore?
I hope
and then,
so.
No, but the thing is,
Sorry,
that,
yeah.
But if you ever use Jared Leto again, then they're going to go like, well, what happened to the other guy?
Oh, that's funny that you mentioned that, Nicholas,
Everything
because the
else.
other Joker movie from the team of Crazy Stupid Love, which is a surprisingly nice little romantic comedy,
Sure.
are teaming up for the Harley Quinn Joker movie.
Crazy, stupid domestic abuse.
Yeah. Okay, when Jared Leto will be coming back, Margot Robbie, and like Gotham City Sirens might not be dead, but
We
David
got the
Ayer's
Joker.
gone, right?
Yeah.
Like David
yeah.
Ayer's
David Ayer's
Suicide Squad.
He's gonna do Bright, which will be great.
I mean,
it's
just look
terrible.
at like how he was talking about like Bright and like not production, like just at Comic Con, yeah. And he was like, "Oh man, like they just let me like go wild. Like I'm not making some
Yeah,
watered
it's
down
not good.
PG-13 bullshit. Like, bro, you got one PG-13 movie on your resume. People know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't do that.
What's
Stop
the
being an
PG-13
asshole.
movie he did?
That's it.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
Suicide
That's it.
Oh, that's right.
It was just Suicide Squad.
I thought he did another
That's it.
movie.
No.
Okay.
No, it's like, dude, fucking,
It's like, shut up.
dude. I'm getting the impression that David Ayer might not be the nicest guy to work with.
No, this is a guy that said like fuck Marvel in the middle of like a premiere. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
actually
that was a
didn't hear
thing.
about that one.
It
But he was like high on adrenaline and he just had to do something is what he said.
No, whatever.
Okay, sorry.
So I don't think either of these are gonna happen. By the way.
Okay.
The
Because look
Gotham
at
City
what's
Sirens
look at what's on the roster. So, Cyborg movie. These are everything that's been announced
Down-
officially or unofficially, right?
Yeah.
Down the road.
Cyborg, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman 2, Man of Steel 2, The Batman, possibly a
Flashpoint.
Batman trilogy,
Flashpoint.
Justice League 2, Aquaman,
Batgirl.
Yeah.
Batgirl,
Batgirl.
Nightwing, Blue Beetle,
Shazam.
Wonder Woman 2? Did we
Shazam, yeah, Wonder Woman 2,
Black
Shazam.
Adam.
Black Adam.
Oh yeah, Black Adam's gonna get his
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, no,
that's right. Yeah,
Okay,
that's right. I
so
totally
out of
forgot.
all of those, that's
half of them will be made.
I think a third of them will be made, maybe.
I think they're gonna
Well,
be.
I
scripts.
can't see the Cyborg movie happening soon. I can't see.
Oh, yeah,
My
and that
thing-
doesn't even include Gotham City Sirens and
Here's my
whatever
thing, though.
this
I think,
Joker movie
I
is.
think the easiest thing to do is turn the Cyborg movie into a Teen Titans movie.
Yeah, there you go. But they're already doing a TV series. It doesn't matter.
Well, how
No, but it
many?
doesn't matter.
How many of these are just going to turn into a TV series?
I don't think any of them. I
No.
think
Well,
they're just not gonna
It's
happen.
not going to be like Inhumans because their
here's-
TV lines are different
Yeah,
universes.
they-
No, I know, but like
unless-
just to make money off that IP.
Well,
I don't
here's the thing though. Here's the interesting idea, is that DC is opening up their own streaming service, and that's where
Oh, it's so stupid.
Like,
That's how
another
you're
one?
going to
I
see
hate
Young
it so
Justice.
much.
that's how you're gonna see Young Justice season
I'll have
3.
to buy it just for Young Justice.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna see Young Justice season 3. That's how you're gonna see Titans. That's how you're gonna see all these shows. So I'm pretty sure if their streaming service works well and they're able to, and people are on it, people are buying it, people are watching it, and they have good viewership, everything like that, they may take some of these ideas and put them into, TV series instead of making them bigger things. Because
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Gotham City Sirens TV show. That would be kind of dope.
Yeah.
They already had a Birds of Prey TV show. It wasn't that great, but I mean.
But
they
the idea
did
is
it.
there.
The idea was already there.
And know what you
Yeah,
gotta
some
do?
of these could work as TV shows. Sure.
Yeah, some of these.
Get someone who's like talented behind the camera.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm sure David Ayer. Actually, no, I'm not sure David Ayer is a nice guy. But maybe let like a woman tell this story then, because I feel like guys keep getting handed these things, and like they try to make Harley Quinn like this badass, and then they keep like focusing on her butt, and it makes me like really uncomfortable to watch.
Right. Yeah,
know?
sure.
Look how fucking cool she is, and her butt.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, come on.
Well, also, well, speaking of which, I just recently watched Batman and Harley Quinn.
Well, I heard it's terrible.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I just recently watched it.
would you do that?
Because Bruce Timm.
Fuck Bruce Timm.
What? No.
There you go, on the record, fuck Bruce Timm.
No,
No,
the
Bruce-
recent Bruce Timm has been really
Yeah,
bad
it's
and
really
weird.
bad and weird, but I'm
Like,
still.
just okay, fuck the recent Bruce Timm.
Yeah, Bruce Timm did some amazing fucking
Did some
shit.
amazing-
No, he did, but you know what? I feel like the constraints of child television had to hold him back from revealing that he's actually kind of a pervert.
No, well, I was gonna say he just has weird, like, what's
He has
the thing?
weird
Ships.
ships.
He has,
Yeah,
no, he
weird
has weird
ships.
ships.
Yeah, because
He has, like,
him-
super weird ships that he keeps to push, like Batman and Batgirl, and now Nightwing and Harley Quinn. And he
Yeah.
keeps, like, putting it in his work, and it's like, dude, draw that, like, be like a...
Make it an Elseworld.
Make it an Elseworlds, or just do that privately
Or
in your
don't
house.
do it. Like, do like. I
Make
don't
that,
know.
yeah. But
yeah,
sorry,
fuck
what were
Bruce
you gonna say about that, Nick?
No, but I mean, like different stuff like that. But I mean, like even in that story, they made it where.
Yeah, they kind of
Well, even in that story,
sexualized her.
Well, they sexualized her, yes, but they also made her a lot. They sexualized her, but also made her a strong character as well.
Okay.
Where like you would see other people like sexualizing her, and then she would like beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Or
still
anything like that,
sexualizing
or-
because it's like you don't need to do that to show that she's stronger than
Well,
that.
no, but the
You know?
the idea that they had, because the only time they actually did sexualize her like that.
I know the scene you're
like that
talking about.
is-
It's at the diner.
Yeah, at the diner.
Which is
and
like-
stuff like that.
You know Bruce Timm put that in there because he's been doing commissions for other perverts to like draw child cartoon characters.
Well,
in, like,
okay, we don't
sexual
know
fashion.
if he's a pervert. He
We
just
don't-
has
we don't know,
weird-
he's just- he has
You can
weird
get
ships.
the. I don't know. That's my assumption.
I think that's a huge assumption
Let's,
just to go like.
let's hold up on.
Yeah,
calling
let's
that,
not
dude.
let's not just go like, oh, that guy's definitely a pervert.
It's just his
Like,
recent stuff has been
Yeah.
really weird
Yeah.
and not very good, and like I'm kind of worried about where what else is he gonna do?
Well, because Paul
You know.
Dini
Hopefully he
wasn't on
retires.
any of these things.
Uh,
Because Paul Dini
was he on The Killing Joke? I don't think so.
No, Paul Dini wasn't on any of those. And to be totally honest, I think Paul Dini is the one that kept him in line.
Yeah.
Because Paul Dini was
And
all
then he
about the
fucked
story.
off and helped out the Ultimate Spider-Man series.
Well, hey,
Wah, wah.
hey, dude, he's a cool dude. We met him.
Yeah, Paul Dini is really
I'm sure
cool.
it doesn't mean he's not a cool dude.
No. But I mean, in general,
Just
but
worked
I,
on a bad show. So what?
But yeah, I mean, everybody works on bad shows.
Yeah. But okay.
Joss Whedon worked on.
Yeah, but
Bombs.
yeah, people
Yeah.
have been fetishizing Harley Quinn. Yeah, I don't know if
I think that's just but
a
that,
guy should helm the Harley Quinn Joker.
yeah,
movie.
but my thing is that could have also been a studio note.
Yeah.
That could have been from
probably
fucking
was.
from Warner Brothers going like, oh, hey, there has to be a scene where somebody grabs Harley Quinn's butt or something like that, and like she flips them, because then they'll go like, oh yeah, it's a lot better. That could have been a studio note that was there.
Something tells me that that's not what happened. I don't know.
You know what? Weirder shit has been a studio note.
Maybe.
Weirder shit has been studio
Right.
note.
On lighter notes, are there any of them you're looking forward to? I want to end the DC stuff on a good note because it's
Martin
really hard to root for
Scorsese
them.
being involved is like weird, but it kind of gives me hope for a Joker origin movie.
You know, Todd Phillips is directing it, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how much Scorsese is going to be involved though. Scorsese could just be like he read the script once and was like, that sounds cool.
Right.
and like
He's like-
never and like just like put some money in.
It's like, I'll
And
throw some movie. I'll throw some.
yeah, like he could have just thrown some money in and like maybe gave an idea or two, and then
Yeah.
they were like, oh, he's an executive producer now
It's like, yeah.
and stuff like
I
that.
don't know. I don't want to like. It seems pretty crazy. I don't want to
Executive-
like throw it, say
Yeah.
like, oh, it's just gonna suck. But I mean, I'll see with that. I won't like. I won't like condemn it immediately. We'll see.
Executive producer is a very vague term.
Yeah, I know, of
It's
course.
very vague. You never know how much like influence that person
Yeah,
had
I know for
on
sure.
the movie, and I think that it's an interesting idea. It
Yeah.
really depends on what story they're going to tell.
Because there's multiple origins for the Joker.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't want an
you
origin
get
story. Though.
you get a bunch of different actors to start playing the Joker in the DC movies.
Honestly,
I want there to never be the same actor.
I feel
That
like,
would be cool.
I feel
Well,
like
just
if,
not Jared Leto. How about
no,
that?
I feel like if you want, what you could do is you can do like kind of like Dr. Parnassus
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
in the Imaginary.
That'd be cool.
Where like every single movie is a
Mm-hmm.
different version of the Joker in his own psyche.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a different Joker. It's just a different form of his own personality.
Well, what is the Grant Morrison thing where the Joker constantly recreates his personality?
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
He's
He only-
trying to cope with the much larger world, and he has like a super sanity. You could do
Yeah,
that.
and I think that would be really interesting. Is that the person that we're seeing is like a split personality. It's very much like you're just seeing a different form of his personality in this day, and stuff like that. And I think that doing an origin story, I don't want to do it. They're a lot scary. It's a lot scarier if you don't know the origin.
Yeah, it makes him more of an interesting character.
You have to
because-
do the Rashomon thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, which version is his truth? I don't know. You kind of leave it
Well,
up to
that's
the
the,
audience.
Yeah.
the great Joker line where he says,
Sometimes I remember it one way, and other times
my-
I remember it other ways.
Yeah,
and
it's
different stuff like
multiple
that.
choice.
Yeah, and
So I mean, that's cool.
But I do think if you did that, you could then, what was it? You can then have all of these Jokers and make them one Joker as well, and you can kind of have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And we just know that they're not going to do that.
Right.
You know,
There's like no
that's
way.
but the thing is that because then the movies would be really interesting because then it would
Oh,
be
they
like,
would. They absolutely would.
Because then it
Yeah.
would be a psychological thriller.
Right.
And you could really maneuver your way around that, and you can
Right.
even have the same characters, and they would even notice that like it's a different Joker
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Speaking of Split, though,
I'm like the master at
Yeah.
fucking segues. Today.
as soon as you said it, I was like, all right, got to remember that. Got to remember
Master
that.
of signals.
M. Night Shyamalan Split was a huge hit for its budget. Another hit for him. He's on his officially on his comeback now.
Yeah. Which is good.
With The Visit and Split, both movies I really really liked.
Definitely Airbender.
And
Shut up. Shut up, Fred.
he's always had a very good visual eye, at least. You know,
Okay.
whatever. Glass, the sequel to Unbreakable and Split. Spoilers, but it's been out forever, so it's fair
Been
game.
out for what, more than 6 months?
Yeah, it's fair game now. Heading into production with an official synopsis from Unbreakable, Bruce Willis returns as David Dunn, as does Samuel L. Jackson as Elijah Price, known as also by his pseudonym Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Joining
Kids
from
called me.
Split are James McAvoy reprising his role as Kevin Wendell Crumb in The Multiple Identities Who Reside Within, and Anya Taylor-Joy as Casey Cook, the
cool.
only
She's-
captive to survive an encounter with the Beast. Following the conclusion of Split, Glass finds Dunn pursuing Crumb's superhuman figure of the Beast in a series of escalating encounters while the shadowy presence of Price emerges as an orchestrator who holds secrets critical to both men. So that sounds fucking good.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I really
So Shyamalan's making a superhero movie.
pretty well. I mean,
Well, this is his superhero universe.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I feel like he's actually gonna make an actual. It's not gonna be the origin. It's not gonna be anything like that. It's gonna be the hero fighting a fucking like the hero.
Okay.
Actually,
I think it's going to be like
fighting his
different
own-
because I mean they've both been
they
been
were
quote
super-
unquote origins, but they're like different
When was the
approaches.
super
to
villain
it.
origin? When it was
Yeah.
the superhero origin? But
It
it's,
feels
Yeah.
more like a crime thriller almost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all, and I think that
I'm
would
really
be cool.
excited about it. I really like what's her name. Well, I forgot. I think her name's Casey in the movie. But
Yeah,
I think
Anya Taylor-Joy, she's great.
She'll be like as Robin, I guess.
I wouldn't mind seeing.
That'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind seeing Bruce Willis's character, even though Bruce Willis is kind of an asshole. Seeing his
Just to Kevin Smith.
no,
No, apparently he's
everybody,
not
to,
Okay.
every-
the
to
nicest guy
everyone.
anymore.
Yeah, to
To
everyone.
everyone. What was it?
Just wanted to go on vacation.
No.
Sorry. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, what was it? I wouldn't mind like after like this has maybe been what 10 years since the events of since the
More or
events of
less,
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
So
it was
it's
kinda
it's
new.
like
10,
17,
17,
18 by the time it
maybe?
comes out, I think.
2000 it came out.
Well, because
Yeah.
I don't know when this movie when Unbreakable
Right, but
technically comes out.
it's years
It's
after.
our lives. It's
Yeah,
our continuity.
is it our continuity? Okay, so 17 years.
It's the real world. There you go.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Bruce Willis who is fucking like who has like a suit, who like
No.
he's like fully.
Well, he did have a suit.
No,
he
but I
had
mean-
the poncho. That was
Yeah,
his,
but I mean like he's actually like fully engulfed in being a hero.
Right.
And like he's also like he's been through some shit. He's seen
Yeah, no, that'd be
like
cool.
like an age.
I don't know if I
superhero.
want him to have like a full cape and everything.
I don't want
Well,
him
I
to have a
mean,
cape.
he did have a costume.
Yeah, the costume. I like that
It
because
was the
it's a
rain
very
poncho thing.
It's a very like blue collar type of superhero. You know.
Yeah, but
It's not Superman flying through the city. It's like I gotta help out.
I don't know
wherever
if that
can.
lends itself to his powers, though, dude. Like that sort of costume with a cape and like.
well, because my thing is that I think that
'Cause
the
he's-
more and more
yeah.
he became like a hero, he would like kind of like embody that and also make it more like I don't know useful
Yeah,
and stuff like that. After 20 years, I would imagine he would need upgrades to. Like,
maybe
like-
he did, but
yeah, and I think that would be kind of cool.
Well,
because
okay,
then that
let's
would
talk about this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Split, he looks. I mean, Bruce Willis always looks tired now, but he's just like Mr. Glass, and then he drinks coffee, and then he's just like, like he looks tired. He doesn't look like a guy who's like, I'm gonna be a superhero now.
No,
Something happened.
No, but that's
in between
why
these
I,
movies.
I think after 17 years, shit has happened. And
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind if it's the Dark Knight Returns where he fucking something bad happened or anything like that, or maybe his kid
He's retired, yeah.
maybe his kid fucking died or something
I
like that because
hope
of
they don't do that. I hope because that always feels so cheap to me.
I
you know?
I wouldn't put it past Shyamalan.
I would because his bad movies are not. They're silly and kind of dumb, but they're not mean or ugly, and that's mean.
Wife?
Also, same thing. I just hate those
I-
tropes.
No.
I hate
I know
those
it's I know
comic book tropes.
I know it's a trope and everything like that, but I feel like he's been through something. Something has definitely changed inside of him.
If he hadn't handled Split as well as he did with regards to trauma from that movie,
Yeah.
I would probably agree with you. But because of how well Shyamalan's always been like he's had a lot of empathy, he's had a lot of heart in his movies,
Oh.
even especially the bad ones, But
That's a fair point.
he wears his heart in his sleeve, and I don't think he's a cynic.
right. he's
And
not-
I don't think that would be the sort of story route he would
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
with.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited for it.
Kirk, you haven't seen any of these, huh?
No, I kind of got lost.
That's okay.
Kirk, yeah.
Kirk's
Well,
like,
then we
oh,
gotta
I
have
mean-
like a double feature or something because they're both excellent movies that
There you
should
go,
definitely be
Yeah,
watched back.
Unbreakable is a pretty badass movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Good to have you back, Kirk.
yeah.
Just to sit there.
Just
No. We got a Kirk segment coming up right after this last little story
Okay,
message.
so
this is
yeah.
good news also, along
Okay.
with the glass stuff. Daniel Craig's officially back as James Bond. And the notes, I just left another thing there. It's not important. I want Roger Deakins to come back as the director of photography.
Yeah.
But outside of that, what do you guys think of Daniel Craig back as Bond?
Oh,
For one last ride also.
If it's his last movie, I like it. Very cool. I think Daniel Craig has very much defined himself as a
This
Bond.
generation's
Yeah,
Bond.
like this
Yeah.
generation's Bond. I think he's
Because
definitely.
you grew up with him.
Yeah, I mean, which one? I mean, so far, I mean, my two Bonds so far are Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. Those are the two Bonds in which I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that came out in movies, different stuff like that.
Sure.
And I think that Daniel Craig has definitely he's definitely put himself up there with Connery. He's put himself up there with, with Brosnan, all the other Bonds that have actually
Yeah.
come before him. And he's definitely made himself the grittier Bond.
Right.
Like, I'm the Bond that can take a fucking punch.
Yeah.
And like get thrown out of a fucking window and then get back up and start running.
Right.
And stuff like that. So I like it. I think Daniel Craig is an amazing Bond. I'm surprised. I thought he was done.
Yeah.
I thought he was never gonna come back.
I think he was just really fed up with Spectre.
Yeah, I think everyone was.
Right.
Critics agree.
I feel
And
like
audiences apparently, so.
some. There's still a lot of like diehard Bond fans
I've
that
softened
love
up
the
on it. I think the first half is very good. I think the opening's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, it goes like this. The movie goes like this.
It
But you
does.
start really high.
By the end of that movie, you're really going like,
How do we get here?
what the fuck?
This is
Where
not
are we
this
at?
is not the movie I started watching 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and also this is not the movie I was promised. Like in the trailers and everything like that, it definitely wasn't the movie you were promised.
And there's like interesting ideas about like Bond being unable to like escape like this almost like Lovecraftian nightmare that is the spy world here, and like it's just surrounded every facet of his life. Like that's a good idea, and then that's like it.
Yeah.
It's just an idea.
I don't know. I also thought that what was it, Javier Bardem. I mean, Javier Bardem was by far a better villain. He was way more menacing. He was everything, and especially if you were gonna do Christoph Waltz as Blofeld.
Which I don't think they should have done that.
I honestly,
It was supposed to be just Obenhauser originally.
Yeah.
and I think that
You're
having
like, oh, Blofeld.
having
Sorry.
having Christoph Waltz as Blofeld, and then also everybody was going, well, he's fucking Blofeld.
Yeah.
It's obvious. And then
I think he would have been better, like, as just this guy that grew up with Bond and hated him, instead of adding that to Blofeld, because Blofeld in the original movie, he's just an evil
He's
like
an evil
mastermind.
dick.
You know what I wish Spectre... I don't
Actually,
want
I heard
but
that it's not confirmed. I don't know if it's confirmed, but C was supposed to be Blofeld.
Who?
C? Do you remember the guy that takes over?
Oh,
MI6?
Moriarty from Sherlock.
Oh,
Yeah, he was supposed
really?
to be Blofeld. Yeah,
I don't know. That feels like stunt
That feels
casting to
weird.
me.
but
Yeah.
I
Especially
think that
friends
would
of
have worked
Sherlock.
better for Blofeld instead of giving him. Oh, he grew up with James Bond and he hates him because.
No, honestly, I
Yeah.
would.
That would have been cool if he was like a diversion villain. And it's like a surprise, the actual villain's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
Or
would have
I-
worked better. But
No, but I think honestly it would have been really cool if what was it? You would have had that diversion, but you could have had it where
I
Blofeld.
am the author of all your.
No, but
pain.
you could have had it where Blofeld has been helping him on this journey the entire time.
Yeah.
You would have had a really interesting thing, and you could have even made it that Blofeld is another agent.
Yeah.
He was like he's a member of MI6.
What's
he's
his
helping out Bond.
in the original movies? Does he have a backstory or anything, or he's just evil?
He's just evil.
He's just
like
in
Nick knows
charge.
that.
But that's actually what leads me to my thing. Like, that's what I wish Spectre was like. Because in the Craig Bonds, we haven't had just like a James Bond adventure. It's always been very personal. Maybe it's been too personal, and
I
that's
think
weird for me to
Spectre was
say.
kind of adventure in some parts.
It tried to be, but then they always tied it back to that.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
I want some ass. I wanted. I don't
Like
want it
all
for
the
the final one.
Mr. Nick stuff was.
Yeah,
good.
I want an asshole who's just out to fuck shit up, and Bond's like, I gotta stop
Well, you
him.
could have it in this next.
No, but my thing is that
But now I want it. Now I want it to be personal to close it out.
No,
So I'm
'cause-
like, damn it, I'm
Because
so
my thing
close.
is that you could have made that movie so personal because you could have had it where Bond is not necessarily loosening up, but he's finding his own way, and he has a team now that he trusts. Because he finally got Q, he finally got Moneypenny, he got a brand new M. He has people that he's like kind of trusting and like relying on in order to get these things done. And if you would have made it that another MI6 agent betrayed him, then it would have been a real devastation to him, and that could have been a really great movie.
Right. All right.
Who do you want to direct? Because I really like that idea, by the way.
Huh?
I really like that idea, by the way. That's
Well,
good.
well, I mean, I would want Nolan to do a Bond movie, but not this one. I'd like to see. He's kind of, I don't know, he did Green Lantern. Martin Campbell to come back to close it up.
All his best movies are Bond movies,
Yeah.
so sure.
Yeah, let's have Martin Campbell. I mean, he did Green Lantern, but, it should happen.
No, he made up for that already.
What did
Did
he
he?
do? He did another movie, right?
What do you do?
I thought, didn't he do? Wait, who did Casino Royale?
Martin Campbell.
Yeah, but he did that
this.
before that.
Yeah, Green Lantern came out 5 years after.
Oh shit! That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think Casino Royale still makes up for it.
All right.
Yeah, no, Casino Royale's the best one.
I will
for
say
sure.
though, I really want to Bond end on a high note. I would like to see it kind of because they've lifted stuff, they've lifted material from other movies, previous films, so far. I'd really want to do them to kind of relift On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is my favorite Bond film,
Yeah.
and kind of because they kind of have. I think what's her name's going to come back.
You
Swan.
want Bond to get married again?
Well, I don't know. Swan is kind of like the Tracy in a way.
It's
Yeah,
true. and
we
Blofeld-
very much disagree on this.
All right,
No,
but yeah,
I mean,
that's
I-
kind of what I wanted. But
I guess
yeah,
it
that's my
kind of
thought.
makes sense because then Blofeld does kill his spoiler for a movie that came
Yeah,
out
but
in
we need to wrap up, though.
1975.
Yeah. Who do you want to direct?
I think Nolan, because if he can do anything like Inception on
That's basically Bond.
Yeah, it's a Bond movie. It's his version of a Bond movie.
Yeah. Okay,
And-
Nolan then.
I think Nolan would do an awesome job for
Sure.
a fucking Bond movie and everything else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want Steven Soderbergh.
Well, that's
Because
good.
I hope him and Daniel Craig became very close on the set of Logan Lucky. And when Daniel Craig announced that he was coming back as Bond, he was promoting Logan Lucky on Stephen Colbert. So I'm hoping that they're buddy-buddy. He's like, all right, I'll promote this movie. We make bank off Logan Lucky because of that new system we have now. Then you come do the last Bond with me, and we just ride off into the sunset together and make more badass shit.
I think an interesting Bond movie would be an Edgar Wright one.
Well, After Baby Driver.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
fuck
But,
yeah.
no. It's,
Well, I mean, especially.
let's have someone interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Steven Soderbergh. Boom.
I think
You're welcome,
Steven
America.
Soderbergh, but I think Edgar Wright could really give you a personal Bond movie.
Yeah.
I need a good Bond movie. All right, Kirk. You got one last thing to add to this. You got a segment you want to throw us into.
So normally I come here and do Kirk Finally Watches, where I watch a movie everyone's already seen. But Gene told me to look at some independent films.
Yeah.
So what I did was I Googled independent films.
And turned out you watched them.
Turns out I've seen quite a few of them. So Kirk has actually watched. And so the panel here, or something, they're gonna pick a movie to get nostalgic about that I have actually seen. I have seen, and some of these may not be independent films. I have no idea. But what's on here is
Okay.
Counts.
says Reservoir Dogs. Is that an independent?
Yeah,
That is an independent movie.
Juno,
Yeah.
Yes.
Memento,
Yes.
Little Miss Sunshine,
Yes.
Donnie Darko.
Very yes.
Oh no, you don't have to confirm these. It's just
Oh, okay.
you guys just gotta pick one.
You said
If I'm
confirm
wrong,
them.
I'm wrong. Just Lost in Translation.
I cannot believe you've seen Lost in Translation. That's amazing.
I had a
believe that.
girlfriend once.
You had a girlfriend once.
You don't need a girlfriend to watch that movie. This is a great fucking
Okay.
movie.
The Big Lebowski, but I've already talked about that here.
Yeah.
500 Days of Summer, which let's not talk about that.
I'm so
Right.
glad you're back.
Uh-oh. I have not seen Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh,
That's just a
wow.
fun
It's
fact.
okay, you're not
Ooh, all right. That's the end of this list. I'm not sure I've seen it more.
All right, what's one movie Kirk could talk about? What would you want?
Lost in Translation is my favorite. But
Okay.
what about you guys?
Fuck, Little Miss Sunshine.
What was Sunshine?
How'd you like Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah.
Because to be totally honest, I fucking love that movie.
All right, let's have Kirk talk about Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay, I don't remember it too well, but I remember how I feel about it.
Okay.
I really liked it. It was good. I think I watched it with my mom for some reason, but
It's a good movie to watch with your mom.
it was really good. I don't remember any of the actors' names, but
Alan Arkin, Steve Carell.
he won supporting actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in it. He was a supportive grandfather. Is that what he was?
Yeah.
I feel like Alan Arkin's career really boomed after Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's Alan Arkin. He hasn't been anywhere.
But it kind of brought
just
him
like,
into a new
I-
spotlight.
Yeah, but
I
it
get
brought
what
it
you're
to a brand new spotlight.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah, it was great. No one's ever gonna forget the scene where what's his face figures out he's colorblind. That was
That's
it was
sad,
it was
yeah.
like
Sad scene.
powerful but hilarious at the same time. Like just how like it was something so small and it was like he hated everything. He had
Yeah.
this one dream. He didn't talk
He wanted
because
to
of
be-
it. Yeah, and just from playing around in the car from some free crap she picked up, like he found out all his dreams are dead.
Yeah.
And
It's
That
sad.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's really
that-
sad.
That sucks.
That's my favorite scene in the movie for sure.
And then I think of all people, Steve Carell's character kind of brings him back, right? Where he's,
Yeah.
and he's suicidal. Oh, that battery's dead.
Technical.
And I don't know. I'm not usually into emotional movies. I guess.
So you mean like movies?
Yeah, I'm into dumb stuff and Star Wars. So
Yay!
Star Wars is emotional. Look, if you
Rogue
didn't,
One was
if
emotional,
you didn't
yes.
tear up when Rey catches the lightsaber in The Force Awakens, I don't know who the fuck you are.
I think everybody was still expecting it was Luke.
I
I
don't know.
teared up when
even
she
Mark-
said.
I started crying a lot the
was
second time I
Rogue
saw
One,
it.
never
Even,
mind.
even Mark Hamill thought it was him when he was reading the
Yeah.
script. Even Mark
Right.
Hamill thought it was him.
Yeah. But Kirk, your last thoughts on Little Miss Sunshine?
I would probably watch it again.
Cool.
I remember watching Little Miss Sunshine a while back, like when it first came out on DVD, and I remember kind of going like, I don't know why the fuck I'm gonna watch this movie,
Right.
because it looked really dumb.
Yeah.
Just off like just seeing like the yellow bus on the thing. And
It is. It set like the template for like the indie movie design.
Exactly.
Look at the poster. Now look at every indie movie that followed.
Yeah,
It is the one.
Yeah, and like it's like because all the template is it's a yellow bus and a bunch of people pushing the fucking
Yeah, that's
bus.
every time they do
And
that.
and I thought the movie was about the bus. Like that's what I originally thought it was
little bit,
about because
Yeah.
it was called Little Miss Sunshine, and I thought the bus was called Sunshine,
Right.
and it was all about like this bus being handed down from like person to person in like a generational thing.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Yellow Bus.
Yeah, like
I'd watch that movie.
Like the grandfather got the bus, and then like it's been passed down from person to person to person, and then like even the grandkids are trying to get it to
Sounds
run.
terrible.
No, I'd watch. That's a heartwarming story right there.
Yeah, and the very end, they're like all pushing the button. That's what I originally thought. Okay,
Right.
that's what I thought the movie was about and it makes sense why I would think that.
Yeah.
But after I watched it, I was like, holy God, this is not the movie I thought I was gonna
There
watch.
you go.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
What was it? Also, I kind of like the idea that they all were like, yeah, fuck the pageant.
Right.
We're like at like this entire adventure that they've gone into, and they're just like, yeah, fuck that.
There you
That's
go.
dumb.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it, but I really like the message about like sometimes life is fucking shitty.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna have people who care about you a lot, and family is always gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
And that's a great message.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is a good message.
I know one thing that I saw on some other list. I've actually seen Moonrise Kingdom.
Yes, I love Moonrise Kingdom.
It's too recent to talk about, maybe, but
No, Moonrise Kingdom's
yeah,
fucking great.
I saw
haven't seen it.
that. I saw that in a movie theater.
Oh my!
Oh my
you go to
God.
theaters?
Sometimes I had a girlfriend once.
I go.
Why is that your answer for everything? Did she make you socialize?
She understood
Picture the
art,
movies, you know.
and then they said, "Oh, let's go see this movie." I'm like, yeah, why not?
God damn it, Kirk, you have to take me out eventually.
No, hey, I was good at going out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good movie.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
that, good
yeah.
reversal of the topic.
Of the not seen anything.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, good job.
Let's do that more often. Let's talk about another one next time.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
We'll have you back soon.
Yeah. The next topic is actually a little bit of a fun thing. It's our pitch a movie segment where Nick's going to pitch us a movie. It's a low budget Star Wars movie.
Yes.
So the three of us now have to give him studio notes to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So low budget Star Wars movie. It doesn't have to look like super independent. Obviously, no Star Wars movie is going to cost less than like $100 million in our
Yeah,
lifetime.
that's impossible.
Yeah,
If
so,
if you were to go make it on 75,000, I'd be like, well, give me a fucking hand cam and some fucking some plastic tubing, and we're gonna make this movie.
I want it to look more like a Terrence Malick movie though than a J.J. Abrams movie. I'm talking like really artsy fartsy, pretentious ass shit that would make someone like me basically cry.
Yeah.
Like Dev Patel.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the studio notes? What are my notes?
Kirk, you want to go? Or...
Ooh.
What are my
Here,
notes?
I got one off the top of my
Yeah.
head. Okay, so we can't have this diversity thing in Star Wars that's happening. We already have trouble in the Han Solo movie. People liked Rogue One because of the diversity thing, but I think they really liked it because of the white people in it. So you have to have more of the whites in there. So just cast a white person in there.
Hey, when did you? I didn't know you went to Charleston. The fuck?
All right. So
Isn't it
kids,
Charlottesville?
Or Charlottesville?
Jeez. Kids like sing-alongs. So, Frozen is a thing, Let's have a musical number like Return of the Jedi, like Yub Nub and
That's-
Jedi Rocks. We're going to bring it back.
I'm gonna tell you right now that is impossible with $100 million.
No,
and
it's
also,
not.
I'm going to
and-
tell you
my
why it's
suggestion.
possible, Nick.
and
care.
and also with it being a Star Wars movie and effects, and I also have to come up with a musical number.
Oh, it's totally possible.
You're a dick.
No,
Haven't you
here-
seen
I don't
the
care.
holiday special?
Oh, they special.
They did it. They had like
Yeah,
$5.
Kirk-
Nick, I'm going to bring that cost down for you. No John Williams and no Giacchino.
So it's just silent.
You got to find.
I have to find a new
You have
composer.
to get a composer, yeah.
Actually, you can get really creative with
All
this.
right.
Oh, fuck. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I need to look up composers.
Well, you could do that during the
Well, you don't have to name a composer. You just you could do the guy that did this because you don't know.
Well,
his
no,
name.
come up with a
Well,
composer.
thank you,
Don't
yeah,
add him
no.
off to the chain.
It's not that hard.
Right.
And no
But,
Hans Zimmer.
Gene, you brought up a good
Cop-outs.
point. We got to go
That
on
is not-
break to check our cameras
Um,
and whatnots and give
so-
time to come up with a pitch for Nick.
We're going to cut away
already know.
to...
Yes, we're going to cut away to a segment that Nick did a while back with Wilmer Valderama. We had to track him down as he was leaving a Coliseum. It's not important. What is important is that Nick got an interview with him about Spider-Man and diversity in comics. So let's cut to that right now.
Good.
About how you view about diversity inside of comic books.
Well, I think it's getting better. I think that the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of big comic book companies are really trying to to do different things, like Spider-Man being now African American, and I think it's of Latin descent too. Isn't he
Yes,
Dominican or something?
Yeah, actually, Spider-Man 2099 is actually a Hispanic Spider-Man.
Yes. So I think what's exciting now is that people are allowing to see that the audiences are so incredibly diverse that the mold for a superhero has completely changed. The mold for a superhero can be really now anything, anyone that actually has a real point of view, and to me that's exciting. We live in an age now where it's becoming more and more colorless, no matter what colors we come in. So I think that's very cool. In entertainment, it's slowly happening.
Yeah.
I think diversity is catching up a little bit more in entertainment, but because there's so many more platforms and so many more shows, you're gonna see more of an attempt to create diversity within entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with the new comic book TV shows nowadays,
Yeah.
we have LBGT characters coming in, African American characters coming in, Hispanic characters that are main characters that are just on stand on these shows, in which I think that's something that's really interesting and something that more shows should actually strive for.
Right, completely. And I think that's what's that's what's gonna take. It's gonna take the audiences to speak aloud. It's gonna take the audiences to actually really say, "Hey, man, this is what we want to watch." We need representation. And I think that's happening more and more as the audiences either show up or don't show up to the things that really speak to them.
Yeah,
I think that.
Hello, welcome back. We're here. Kirk's not. Kirk's behind the camera now, so we have no more camera difficulties. Thank you, Kirk, for that. Next, I'm going to pitch us something in a minute or a couple minutes as we wrap up the show. But first, it's been a summer movie season. We haven't talked about summer movies since like June. We talked about a couple of them, but now's a good time to just look back and really quick before we get into our individual favorites of the year.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the overall summer movie season, guys?
Not bad.
It wasn't too bad. I don't think it was. I think there were some really good movies, but they didn't really. Some really good ones didn't do that well, or they were kind of like. What's the?
Well, hey,
word?
let's talk about quality first.
Oh sure, yeah. No, there were some really good movies.
I liked
Yeah.
I liked the fact that there was a lot of indie movies that came out that were really fucking good, and a lot of big budget movies that were filmed like fucking indie movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, to be clear, I mean, I think there's like this connotation like with independent movies that there's like more passion behind them.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that
Yeah.
because there's some indie movies that are pretty fucking bad. Passion aside, it's just and bigger budget movies are obviously harder to like do. So like
No, yeah.
like a Dunkirk must have been fucking exhausting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I'm talking about like Baby Driver and stuff like that. Like those, like that kind of movie really like sold with me. I really enjoyed it and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of like big superhero movies that also came out this summer. Some good, some not so good.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, which one did you not think was good?
Yeah.
What was it? Because for me, I was also considering the Pirates of the Caribbean movies inside of that like list
Okay.
of like
yeah.
superhero movies because it's about
I don't know
it's
about
about it's about a main hero.
No,
and they go
no,
on an adventure.
He's a drunkard.
He's a drunkard.
You know what?
Just
Next
like-
time we
just
go out
like-
for beers,
okay.
I want you to explain that to me. But we're running on
Nick,
time now.
Stop it. Stop it.
Because I know, because I jive with that. I know that's going to take us down a fucking rabbit hole right
I know,
now.
it's gonna take us
I'm done with your rabbit holes.
You know,
here.
I'm all about like
I'm all about
processing
rabbit
like
holes.
weird genres when they're not supposed to be, but no.
I'm
Nick,
all
stop.
about
Okay.
I'm all about rabbit holes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
no, I think this summer movie season was fucking great.
No, yeah, it was.
There's
was
no Mad
amazing.
Max Fury Road, but then there's like a Dunkirk,
Yeah.
and then there's a Wonder Woman,
And there's
Wonder
Baby
Woman
Driver.
was
and there's a
awesome.
Baby Driver, and there's the Big Sick, and Okja. These all came out like I think the same month also.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
There was a huge flood of movies where like I couldn't keep up. Like I actually like missed a few because I was like, okay, I want to watch this, and this, and I was like, fuck, I only have time to watch these.
Like, what the fuck happened? Like, last year? Think back, like, last year. Right now, off the top of your head. What came out that you really loved?
Mad Max.
No,
That was
2 years ago.
2015.
Holy shit.
For me, like, Star Trek Beyond, The Shallows. And
Yeah,
that's, like,
Star
all I
Trek
got.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Star
maybe
Trek Beyond, I liked.
But also, I didn't watch it then. I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
That's fair. It's a good movie, huh?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
There was another
Star Trek movie.
That's the whole thing.
Civil War.
Civil War was last year.
Yeah.
I
about
can't. I
it.
can't think of any.
I'm not like off the top of my head. I can't
Yeah.
go like.
I'm not trying to shit. I know
This,
good
this,
movies
this.
came out last year, but it's like,
Independence Day.
this movie season feels more bigger and, like, better. Just audiences didn't respond as well, you know?
Surprising.
Ah.
Fucking Suicide Squad.
The
When they
ni-
do this
nice
stuff,
guys.
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
No. I just typed in summer movies of 2016.
Okay.
And Suicide Squad came up.
Okay.
All right.
I wasn't.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
which Kubo and the two strings.
Okay, yeah, they came
That
out
was
like around
last
this
year.
time last year. That was like the end.
But
The
yeah,
Nice
I mean,
Guys,
Nice Guys, X-Men Apocalypse sucks.
Bum,
Wow,
bum, bum.
BFG. But yeah, I think the movies last year weren't as big, but I think they kind of did. Some of them did financially better than some of the movies.
There was
that,
nothing hit
Like,
Civil War numbers.
yeah, but I don't get
Yeah.
why
Yeah, but-
War of the Planet of the Apes. Well, I guess I kind of get.
No,
why
I
it
don't-
didn't.
No, you know what? I think the problem was this year is that apart from like global like economic and political anxiety making people scared to go out of their houses,
Yeah.
that
Be
like
safer there.
yeah, no, I think too many good movies came out. I mean,
Oh,
I know that
okay.
sounds like a weird thing
It's
to
like
say.
it's too good.
Well,
for-
like think of like casual moviegoers,
Yeah.
like my Nina goes out to the
All right.
movie like 5 times a year maybe.
Okay.
Right? They're not gonna go see like movies back to back to back weekends, and there were a lot
Like
of
we
good
do, yeah.
movies that came
Hon-
out this year back to back to back to
Honestly,
back.
last summer it
Okay.
didn't have that good of like a pool. I
No,
mean,
it was
you had
pretty
The
bad.
Conjuring 2, you had Finding Dory.
Oh, Finding
Secret
Dory
Life-
was good,
Secret
but-
Life of Pets, Free State of Jones, Sausage Party, The Legend of Tarzan, Now You See
Oh.
Me Too, Peach Dragon,
Yeah.
Central Intelligence, Don't
Okay,
Breathe,
okay.
Lights Out,
Yeah,
stuff like
okay.
that.
Yeah,
Those
like,
movies,
stuff was like passable at best, but,
but
it
those
was, like,
movies aren't as good as.
And then like look at this, like I know they're obviously not everyone agrees and everything, but like Gene and I saw Atomic Blonde, and I was like, holy shit, this
That was
is
great.
fucking cool.
Which I think the thing is that there wasn't a lot of movies that you would go re-see in the theater
This year or last year?
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot more movies that I would definitely go like I'm willing
I'll
to go
see
pay,
Wonder Woman again.
I'll definitely go pay another $10 to $12
Baby
to
Driver.
go watch this movie again.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too many good movies came out around the same time.
That's
'cause
a
it's
weird.
like-
That's a good complaint to have. I
That's
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
that totally took away from like Planet of the Apes or like
Yeah.
I like
Like
that.
some movies
all-
were very
and I
very,
think
like in
this
July,
is a
yeah.
problem with studio tentpole stuff now. It's like they have specific seasons for when these movies comes out, and while it made sense in the past, now everyone's trying to get in on that,
Yeah,
and it's
so-
like you're cannibalizing yourself.
Yeah.
War for the Planet of the Apes, which is a great movie, should have
Fucking
done way
awesome.
better.
Honestly, I
know?
think it should have probably come out in January. Like that.
You know, I think so too.
that really shitty like month, like
Yeah,
the
or
March,
it should have
January,
like maybe like in March or something.
like January to March. Planet of the Apes.
No,
should
I
come
think
out
March.
because then
I
you
think
would've
March
gotten
is done
all
now
the-
too. March and April, I think they're getting crowded now too.
Oh, okay.
'Cause look, you had Fate of the
Yeah.
Furious.
Right, but it should have been released
Logan.
in another month.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think maybe January because I mean John Wick did really well, and that was in fucking February.
Yeah.
That was in February where like usually all you get is like these like these Valentine's movies and like lovey-dovey movies, and then you have fucking John Wick.
Yeah.
Who's like just murdering a bunch
John
of people.
Wick.
Yeah, it's a revenge story.
Yeah.
And
And you
I
know
fucking love like honestly I thought John Wick 2 was in the summer and I was like, fuck, it's in February.
Even the movies that like I'm not like crazy about, they're at least like interesting to talk about. Like okay, like let's see, like Summer Movie, The Mummy. I don't like it, but like you can still talk about like okay, here's why like this is kind of not a great movie. Maybe not from a filmmaking standpoint, but there's stuff around it to talk about that can keep a conversation
There's a
going.
lot of scenes where it looks like they're,
Yeah.
they're gonna make out though.
The Mummy and Tom Cruise.
Like Tom Cruise.
You've seen the
and-
movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen
I
the
haven't
movie.
seen
Okay,
it.
the ending's really weird.
Dun dun.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
it's very uncomfortable. Or like
I
let's
don't
see what
wanna
else.
see
Did
it.
Life come out?
Yeah, Life came out in March,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, never mind. Fuck that
Yeah.
movie anyways. That's okay.
That was terrible.
King Arthur.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I still haven't seen it.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
Is it?
It's like Guy Ritchie's Game of Thrones
Yeah.
meets like
With
Hogwarts
elephants.
and-
I honestly,
Dude, it's
Giant
crazy.
elephants.
honestly,
It's
I
crazy.
really wanted to watch it, but a lot of people were going like, "Yeah, fuck that movie." I'm
Or
like,
or
People are
Valerian.
dumb.
You know, like these movies. Well, not everyone's cup of tea, or like Alien Covenant, not everyone's cup of tea. But you can tell
They're interesting.
they're not lazy movies.
No, yeah.
They're movies that people gave a shit about.
how is Valerian?
I didn't see
I
it.
really
Diego
like.
saw it.
I double featured it with Dunkirk, which is like almost my favorite movie of the year. No.
Would you spend 5 hours in a movie theater?
There's an hour in between, so I went to go get coffee with some friends after.
Okay.
But I never experienced more movie in my life because Valerian is just like throws everything at you, and then Dunkirk is just like the most intense thing ever. So for like 7 hours, I was just like,
Please tell me.
"Wah."
Please tell me they did a Revenge of the Sith where they even animated a kitchen sink
No.
inside the battle, so that way they could say they threw
No.
everything in there, including
Oh
the
no,
kitchen sink.
no! Fucking Valerian is just insane, and
See, that's the thing
everyone
though.
should
Is I
watch it.
also heard that Valerian wasn't that good either.
I really like. It's not great, but it is not without passion
'Cause I
and
went-
not without excitement.
Because I went to the Hollywood showing of The Fifth Element, where he was there with like Jovovich and also Chris Tucker, and he was promoting Valerian. It was supposed to come out the following week, And he was like, yeah, go fucking watch it. It's really good and everything like that. I was hoping it was gonna
And
be.
no one did.
Well, I was hoping it was gonna be a lot closer to like Fifth Element, like.
It has a very Fifth Element vibe. It's not as good, but I cannot imagine watching that movie and being like, yeah, this sucks. You know?
Yeah.
Like really, I mean these movies.
I'll need to see it.
I can't imagine that for like any of these really
Yeah.
for this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't do well. Can we talk about a movie we liked?
Yeah. Okay, let's talk some favorite movies and talk about why you liked it.
Okay.
Favorite of the summer. Think of like your favorite movie of the summer, or at least one of your favorites.
Okay.
Big budget first, and then we'll go into the smaller stuff.
Okay. I think I'll go with Dunkirk because I'm a big Nolan fan, and I, watched it, in 70 millimeter in the Cinerama Dome, and that.
You jerk off after, so like
No.
film reels.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
Thank you for asking.
no problem.
But yeah, that was like his kind of like his most experimental film. I like to see Nolan doing different things because people always like kind of say this is very Nolan-esque or like they try to categorize them.
Everybody really does categorize with Nolan.
Yeah, but he's doing something different. He took a really big chance. Doing a World War II movie where there's hardly any dialogue. There's I wouldn't say there's not a story, but it's very it's very like experimental in its story structure.
It's a movie without plot because a good filmmaker like that, I think, recognizes when plot is essential and when plot is not.
Yeah.
And that is not essential there.
Yeah, I think this was Nolan's one of his best. I was very moved by it, and yeah, I would recommend people to see that. Do you want me independent movie? I think you wanted to talk about the big sitcom.
Yeah, but go ahead. It's fine.
I don't want to take that. I'll say a Ghost Story.
Okay.
I really enjoyed. That was something different. Exploring what happens when we die, and yeah, I really dug it. It did reasonably well. Rooney Mara eating a pie for 8 minutes was something else, but yeah, it was cool.
So I was really at odds because I was in between Baby Driver and also I was in between
Cars
Guardians 2. I was really thinking about doing a joke and going like Cars 3,
Cars,
definitely
good.
the best movie of the summer.
Yeah.
Which,
I was
to its
really,
credit,
I was really thinking about doing
which to
a
its
joke.
credit though, we talked about. We're like, that was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It's the better of the Cars movies.
Yeah.
It's the first Cars movie that feels like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is
The
a big
last
help.
Cars
Which
movie,
is really sad. It's really depressing.
So Nick, what was it?
No, I honestly I would go with Baby Driver just because of the amazing way that Edgar Wright was able to use music and actually enhance the movie because of the music. I also thought it was really interesting that he had thought of what song, like he made the movie around the songs that he had already picked and different stuff like that. I thought it was shot beautifully and it really did get you in it really did get you to care and love that movie. And Kevin Spacey just did an awesome job. I love Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx.
Cool.
So.
What about a lower budget movie that you've seen, independent?
Honestly, it was the only movie I've actually seen is Big Sick.
That's right. Talk about it. That's fine. I got another one. I got another one.
I think that it's a good movie. I really do love Ray Romano in that movie. I think Ray Romano.
Oh, best supporting actor, right?
Yeah, Ray Romano.
Right? Best supporting actor.
Yeah.
Please,
Oh, for sure.
someone.
Was it have different levels of?
Yeah, like I have different levels of hate and stuff like that. I think that
was a great scene.
Who's the main actor in that one?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani.
He's great.
I love their relationship. I think that it's a very
Based on his real life.
It's based on his real relationship with his wife.
I think that it's a great idea, and I thought that no matter what, I really do like that idea of like these people are getting to know him, even like without their daughter, and it's a fucking awkward movie, like it's really awkward for like a good like hour and a half, and you're just like, yeah, so this is a movie, and stuff like that. But I feel like if it wasn't awkward, then the movie wasn't genuine.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't feel, if you didn't feel awkward, then the movie wasn't doing its job because it needed to be that way, and stuff like that. So I think it did an amazing job.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot I want to mention, but I mean, there's no other choice for me. Really. Everyone knows I'm a huge Alien fanboy, but even no. My favorite of the summer, maybe even the year, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I was in between that. Yeah.
That is just such a weird, like, psychedelic movie about a bunch of assholes getting really angry at each other and then crying about it later. Yeah. It just happens to cost $200 million and be about fighting a planet
I always thought of it as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is that bar scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but given an entire movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the most Empire Strikes Back movie since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Because it gets why Empire Strikes Back is great. It's not that it's darker and that has a cliffhanger, because Guardians 2 doesn't have a cliffhanger. It's a whole story in itself.
Yeah, it's a complete story.
It's just about the people in the story, which no one who goes for a Dark Knight or Empire Strikes Back vibe actually gets. They're just like, oh, darker, more plot, more stuff. There's no plot to Volume 2. It's
no,
just
it's all
like,
about the character.
Yeah, it's like, I feel this way at the start of the movie. Here's how I'm going to deal with it for the next 2 hours.
Well, I think, yeah, there's a plot.
Sure, there's an outline.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm saying that as a very big positive.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, it doesn't let the story orchestrate how the characters act. The characters orchestrate how the story acts.
For sure, yeah.
I remember going with my brother to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I remember we get to the Yondu scene where he says,
so
where he goes,
No spoilers, just for Kirk.
yeah.
Just for Kirk.
We get to a Yondu scene, and I remember Justin just turning to me, and he like leans into me, and I'm like, what's wrong? And he goes, this movie is fucking depressing. He goes, who the fuck thought of this? And I just started dying, because I was like, all right, for one, yes, 2, great, Bad Boys 2, line for this.
Yeah. All right.
But yes,
Volume 2 is
it's great. I
think it might be like James Gunn's masterpiece.
Right.
Like, I've thought about this for many months now. It's definitely my favorite Marvel movie.
I hate to.
But like, God, it's.
I hate to butt in, but I want to say it's his masterpiece. But I feel like, I didn't mind, the thing that you're saying about this plot. But I feel like it's just some of the structure is just kind of like.
Well, because there isn't the character structure.
No, I meant like why is like Aisha like she has a point to be in the beginning of that movie, but why is she in the end? Like that end climax, she does not need to be there.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Because Rocket needs to resolve his fuck up.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
That's the thing about the movie. It's
some of the
all
stuff
all these
out of place.
characters
I hate to,
are fucking assholes to each other. Well, not all of them. Just Rocket mostly.
Not only that, but also the problem at the very end of the movie is a creation of their own.
The batteries, yeah. The batteries.
It's a creation of their own.
They have problems.
Feelings.
They learn to deal with them, not by themselves, but together.
Yeah.
So Volume 2, just I love it so much, and I don't know if I'll ever love a Marvel movie like that again.
Yes.
And as for smaller movie, I'm actually gonna go something a little different with Neil Blomkamp's Oat Studios movies that he's been releasing, his short films.
Yeah, those are great. Those are the
absolutely.
best movies.
I loved Zygote. It's his movie that's basically
his alien
movie. Like
ironic,
Dakota Johnson would have.
Alien movie.
Oh yeah, it'd be terrible for an Alien 5. But if he did like a standalone Alien movie, I'm on board.
Okay.
I don't want him to continue Ripley's story. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out Zygote. It's a weird like infuse of Alien and The Thing, and like
I haven't seen her in anything.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Check it out. But yeah, I think Volume 2 for me is the best. Your Cars 3 and Gina's Dunkirk.
Yeah.
All right, and then Big Sick, Ghost Story, Zygote.
I was really tempted to lick your hand. I don't know why.
Please don't ever lick my hand.
Nick,
before we wrap up,
Right,
you got a pitch to give. Go.
I do have a pitch to give. Okay, so my pitch goes on a small moon near Ryloth, which is the Twi'lek home planet.
Okay.
Keep going, but you do have 2 minutes.
Okay,
2 minutes.
so what was it? It's on a small moon near Ryloth. Now the idea is that Ryloth is controlled by the Empire, and it's a major like place point. On this moon, they can get some resources, mining instruments, different stuff like that. This moon is where they find a huge supply of kyber crystals. Now, it's a giant mining planet and everything else. You see a spaceship come, it lands on it, and it's a what was it? It's kind of like a bounty hunter type like trade ship, and you have a character come off of it, and it's Ahsoka Tano. This is a couple of years after the Clone Wars. Ahsoka Tano has been on many adventures and different stuff like that. She hasn't joined the rebellion. She hears of a rebellion, but she doesn't join it, and she has thrown away every remnant of her being a Jedi. She hasn't used the Force in years, and everything else. When she lands on this moon, she then sees that there's kind of like these pale type, which are these pale type Twi'leks, because they don't actually, they're on a different type of environment and different like that, so they don't actually get the colorization as they do on Ryloth. So what ends up happening is that Ahsoka Tano is now trying to help out these Twi'leks because the Empire is enslaving them, different stuff like that. This allows her to then kind of come back up and make her own rebellion. And she also hears that there's a rebellion on Ryloth, so she's trying to connect the two. She's trying to connect these two, allowing her to do it while she's actually while she's training all of these all these Twi'leks to fight back against the Empire. You have a giant, you kind of have like a montage / musical number, kind of like "I'll make a man out of you" type thing, where I'll make a warrior out of you or a rebel. I'll make a rebel. And it ends with Ahsoka Tano actually embracing her Jedi ways.
Can you finish the last sentence?
You can finish the last thing, but
Ahsoka Tano actually embracing her Jedi ways and then joining with the Ryloth army on Ryloth to fight off the Empire.
okay.
So Diego, would you buy it?
Yeah, because the way he flipped the white person thing, amazing. High five forever.
No, hold on.
Yes.
I figured that's why when I started laughing, I was like, that would work.
Yeah. Amazing. I love Ahsoka Tano so much, so I would want to see an expanded universe side story with her, Star Wars story with her.
Yeah.
So I'll just take what I can get at this point.
I don't know.
It doesn't. Well, the thing is, it doesn't feel like an independent movie. It doesn't feel like a low budget one.
It would be an independent movie because the entire movie would take place on this moon. It doesn't necessarily need a giant space battle or anything like that. Think of Temple of Doom.
Racism.
Well, I mean, like the people are being enslaved to mine.
Okay.
And stuff like that, and it's held by these like zealots. So think of like a Temple of Doom-esque Star Wars movie with Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm having trouble. I don't know. I agree with that characterization of Ahsoka Tano being like, not wanting to join the rebellion.
Oh, that's huge. It's a huge thing.
Okay.
Because Ahsoka Tano after, the main reason why I went that route is because Ahsoka Tano after being beaten over on Mandalore against Darth Maul and the entire clone army trying to kill her, her and Rex go into hiding. So this is much more of a like, oh yeah, I'm going away and
This is
I'm
before
hiding.
Rebels.
Yes, this is way before Rebels.
All right, I'll buy it then.
All right.
Kirk,
Well-
would you buy it?
Ahsoka brings in money, so yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I guess you got it, Nick.
All right. On that note, we got to wrap the show. Kirk, where can people find you?
One of white people.
At the only Kirk, sometimes on Twitter.
All right.
Sometimes.
Nick.
You can find me at Nick Valero 1940 on Twitter and Nick Valero on Facebook.
Gene.
Find me on G9892, Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter at DEWO Waffles, President Diego. What else? I don't know. Waffle Press. Like, subscribe. If you didn't like, and subscribe anyways, because we might find something you like. Keep an eye out for some fun stuff coming up in the coming months. A fun retrospective series, one for Halloween, and some very exciting stuff at the beginning of next month. That'll happen like almost immediately after this episode. Okay, bye.
Why is your voice so high?
Because I'm excited. Thank you for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.